So I'm scrolling Twitter this morning and I come across this tweet from Reverend Dr. Budaika. And it is a screenshot of this Forbes article, this op ed saying, Bridgerton, are we still not ready for mixed weight romance on screen? Okay, you can tell what this is from Forbes. This is a headline grabber. This is a title that is supposed to evoke some kind of emotion. And Reverend Dr. Budaika's caption says, The King of Queens ran for 9 seasons. So what the F even is this nonsense? So Christy responds, I always find this so weird since women are biologically wired to carry more weight by default, for making babies and whatnot. Women should be heavier than men. It's not how we're designed, see babies and whatnot. But Hollywood, as usual, is completely back asswards. And she's like, thank you. Julian says, prior, the heavy one was always the man. What they're saying is, are we ready for fat women to be seen as human? Morgana says, oh, good point. I've seen a few movies where the woman is on the heavier side. Argyle, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, The Hustle. But it really is typically the man who is heavier in relationships. And then this person says from day one and posts a screenshot of The Honeymooners. So this is S. Witchcat saying, articles like this are a big reason why people think we're not ready for things that are just misogynistic, fatphobic, and have unrealistic beauty standards. Not only is it wildly untrue, but it's also just damn rude. Nicola is gorgeous. And Reverend Dr. Budaika says, yes. So me, because I like reading Forbes, I was confused, like what was their angle with this? So I went over and I found the article, Bridgerton, are we still not ready for a mixed weight romance on screen? This is by Virgie Tovar. So my first inclination, what does Virgie Tovar look like? So here's Virgie Tovar. Obviously, Virgie Tovar is plus size herself. So just seeing her pictures without even reading the article, I highly doubt that the people that were triggered over this article picture, the screenshot, not even the article, I'm pretty sure that they are triggered before even reading the article. But let's see what the article says. I want to remind us all that titles and thumbnails are meant to draw your eyes to the actual article. Sometimes the article fleshes out that title, but the title does not convey everything. All right, so this is what this article says. I have seen so much discourse circulating about Bridgerton and the relationship between Penelope and Colin, begins a post by the Chicago-based plus-size vintage and modern clothing retailer Lovesick Plus. An unfortunate post on Threads said this would never happen and was so unrealistic. I have my own feelings on the show and characters, but one thing I know for 100% certainty is that fat people have and always will be loved and lusted after. The post references the primary plotline for season 3 of Shonda Rhimes' wildly popular Netflix show Bridgerton, the mixed weight romance between Penelope Featherington and Colin Bridgerton defies romance plotline convention. It does more than that, though. This love story creates fiction around the socially acceptable limits of desire and desirability, doing what Rhimes does best, unveiling unsettling truths about human relationships. In this case, the truth is that thin people, yes, I dare say, even straight men with cash and cachet, desire, love, and marry people who are larger than they are all the time. Already, the show has broken records and offered refreshingly new takes on the period piece genre, and this season of Bridgerton delivers yet again. The internet has been in rare form, however, when it comes to the union of Penelope and Colin, affectionately nicknamed Pollen. In a recent article penned by Zoe Strimple for The Spectator titled Bridgerton's Big Fantasy, Strimple declares that Coughlin is not hot and proceeds to fat shame her. Strimple writes, Coughlin is an actress of great value might be adored, but she is simply not plausible as the friend who would catch the handsome, rich aristocrat Colin Bridgerton's eye in that way. It's important to examine Strimple's writing because it offers a glimpse into the nuanced beliefs and rules that are part of fatphobia, because it's fatphobia that's at the core of why pollen has created such a frenzy. But reader, she is not hot, and there is no escaping it. As I was reminded recently when she graced Harper Bazaar's cover in a fabulous outfit that still did not change her not hotness. She's not shapely, which can work as sexy even in Hollywood. She's fat. There's nothing wrong with fat. It's hardly a moral shortcoming, but a zest for equality and diversity, and in this case, good acting, just isn't enough to make a fat girl who wins the prince remotely plausible. In the cruel visual semantics of the screen, poor plump Penelope may be set up to win her man, but will she win her audience? The jury, dear reader, is still out. From Bridgerton's Big Fantasy by Zoe Strimple for The Spectator. This quote to me is so problematic. They really go out of their way to make it like big girls can't get love. And it's like simply seeing a bigger size girl, and she's not even that big, let's be honest, by society standards. Being a size 10, which she is, being a size 10 is not really that big. And for plus size modeling in the plus size community, she's not even really plus size because I believe plus size starts at like 14. She's just plump. So this person calling her fat is just simply silly. And it just goes to show these types of people are the mean girls that are like, why does she get a man and no one's even looking at me? That's the kind of vibe that I get when I read that quote. First, Shrimple's description of Penelope as the friend reveals a need to sideline plus size people even when they are the main character of their own love story. This is a form of fatphobia we've seen frequently in romantic comedies that cast larger bodied actresses as the asexual sidekicks of smaller bodied ones. And that's what I really like about Shonda Rhimes. She's given this girl some shine where typically she would be the sidekick, just like in times past the black girl, the black woman is always the sidekick. But that's one of the reasons why having diversity in writers, directors, and all of that is so important because it gives, it brings some reality. Because in reality, big girls do get love too. Black women are not always the sidekick to some slender white woman, and it lets all of us be the main character in a story. Second, it's important to notice that Colin's desire for Penelope isn't even addressed. Only the implausibility of that desire is mentioned. The truth is, though, that Colin wants Penelope, right? He's not a prisoner in this romance, right? Yet it's not Colin's desire that's being pathologized or chided at all. It's Penelope's body. Finally, what makes Colin implausible to Strimple is not merely that Colin is handsome, which seems axiomatically and problematically include his thinness, but also that he is rich and an aristocrat. This speaks to the complex ways that fatphobia interacts with characteristics like class. So, even though most people, regardless of their body size, don't marry rich aristocrats, for a person entrenched anti fat attitudes, it's really important that the few who do are thin people. People with entrenched weight bias can possess a strong commitment to gatekeeping plus size people from access to things like love. A deeply fatphobic person may deem that a plus size person's partner is an inappropriate match based on presumed differences in social status and believe that those social differences are more important than either partner's desire for one another. So this article is longer than this, but I'm going to stop there because we have gotten to the crux of the issue. First of all, going back to this tweet, you can see that these people didn't actually read the article. So I want to stress that it is very important to not always be so triggered so quickly without going back to do your due diligence. Obviously, this title was to grab your attention, and it did, but don't make that be the end of the journey. Dig a little bit deeper and actually look up the article, especially when the title is right there. And then also, like these people were going on and on and on, we have seen mixed weight couples on screen. It's just typically a big dude with a slender, hot woman. And people are not ready to switch that bias and allow the big girl to get love too. All right, jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to like, comment, and share.